Crash and burn, the Rachel Zegler story. Man, Rachel Zegler has not been doing well either. I believe, isn't her like Broadway, whatever thing happening where people are like she's singing and then people can't see her and then they watch her on like a Jumbotron or whatever. I don't know, man. But yeah, it's Rachel Zegler's career is basically over if you think about it. All right. Snow White lost Disney a lot of money. Big money lost. Big money lost. I was joking. Too late. We'll watch it after this.
So I was lying on my bathroom floor this morning trying to work out if the stains on my t-shirt were kebab sauce or blood or both when a thought occurred to me. If there's food left in a house that's burning down, there's probably a point where it's perfectly cooked.
Go on, Lethal.
It's about time I started a new series on this channel. But what to talk about? What aspect of the film industry could I look at this time? Then it hit me.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Man. Man, I can't believe I paid money to watch Snow White. What a bad day that was. What a terrible day that was.
Oh, that is brilliant, sir.
Stories of celebrities that have nuked their own careers and crashed out of Hollywood in spectacular fashion go back almost as far as movies themselves. But man, I don't think it's ever been as
Amber
prevalent
Heard,
as it is right now. So
she's one of those people who are like considered crazy hot. She's fucking crazy, and she's also hot. And what a damn shame. What a damn shame. And you guys remember? You guys remember when Elon Musk posted a photo of Amber Heard in a Mercy costume or cosplay from Overwatch? If that girl's willing to do that for you and take a picture and have your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend post it on the internet, that is she's freaky. And she's also willing to do the Dirty Sanchez. I'm just letting you know now. If she was able to do the Dirty Sanchez on the bed, she will do this Dirty Sanchez on you. All right, just letting you know now. Do not Google Dirty Sanchez.
why not delve a little deeper into their life stories, have a few laughs along the way, and maybe learn a thing or two about how not to see...
I completely forgot about this fucking clown. I completely forgot about Ezra Miller. Holy crap, man. Jeez.
Succeed in the movie business. So, without further ado, I bring you Crash and Burn, a story
Don't stick
of
my banana in crazy.
failure.
My banana's too
And
small.
Truly, we're starting off strong with this one. Celebrity meltdowns don't get much more dramatic and spectacular than Rachel Zegler, a girl who single-handedly transformed herself from an up-and-coming
Ezra Miller
darling
should
of
be in
Hollywood
prison,
to one of the most
100%.
nuclear-grade toxic celebrities in the entire movie industry. And how did she manage it? Well, pull up a chair and let me tell you a tale. Our story begins in New Jersey back in 2001 when Rachel Zegler was born to Colombian and Polish parents. Damn man, that's a hell of a combination. Anyway, she went the typical theatre kid route and starred in a bunch of stage shows where she quickly discovered a talent for acting and singing, and even started a YouTube channel where she would cover popular...
The crazy thing is, I used to think Rachel Zegler is ugly, and then you see some of her other photos, she actually looks pretty decent, right? And then you get Bella freaking Ramsey. And you're like, wow. Bella Ramsey makes Rachel Zegler go from like a 4 to like a 9. Man, like I'm not a looker at all. I'm more of a look at that. And I'm still extremely flabbergasted that I'm married. Right? But the thing is, Bella Ramsey, oh my God. Like usually ugly people, like when I'm talking about women who are ugly, like women who just straight up do not look good, right? And I'm not trying to be mean, it is a fact. Women who do not look good and has a man's body automatically identifies as non-binary is because they know they have nowhere to go. Bella Ramsey would be perfect for MODOK. I heard that Marvel was eyeing her for, for something, right? We are too, Phil. See, exactly. I'm ugly as fuck. And yet, I still got me a wife. It's all about that riz. It's all about that charisma. I go up to her, it's like, we are Chinese. We're number one. We all take all the world. And that's how I got her. That's how just do that. If you're Chinese, go up to a girl and goes, we are Chinese. We number one. We eat bats and it's good. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Or movie songs. Pretty standard stuff so far, and that might have been as far as it went, were it not for Steven Spielberg, who in 2018 was looking to cast Latino actors for his upcoming remake of West Side Story. Young Rachel saw her chance and soon shot to the top of the list for the part of Maria, beating out literally tens of thousands of other hopefuls in the process. Well done, Rachel. The film would ultimately bomb at the box office, but Rachel didn't care. It had put her on the map.
Yeah, the Abby actress looks more like Ellie.
To make the most of it, no matter who she.
So there's hope for you there, chat. I'm not saying you guys are ugly and fat, but have you guys ever seen ugly fat guys going out with girls that are like 9s or 10s? That could be you. And that's me. I'm not fat, but I'm one of those ugly guys that got me to 10. And that's how you do it, man. I'm not rich though. I'm 100% not a rich Asian. All right, definitely not. Yo, Jesus Davila, thank you so much for the gifted membership. Thank you.
Piss off in the process. The first real sign of things to come was her behavior at the 94th Academy Awards.
Yeah, you worked in the music business and you see ugly guys get gorgeous babes. Yep, absolutely, man. It can happen.
But Rachel wasn't about to take this shit lying down and immediately began bitching about it on social media. Basically,
I'll say it, we're ugly and fat.
The Academy into not just an invite, but an actual presentation gig as well. I mean, if nothing else.
For guys, if you're ugly and fat, you gotta have confidence and charisma, and you don't have that, then you will it will be very, very hard for you. Just letting you know, it'll be very hard for you, and hard, you getting a girlfriend,
else, you've got to respect the sheer balls of this fucking 20-year-old nobody lecturing the biggest film organization on the planet about what she's entitled to. Don't worry though, entitlement would soon prove
you gotta have money. That's what it is. That's true. If you have money, that also helps a lot.
Going on, she'd also landed a supporting role in Shazam 2, which wasn't exactly career-making.
I didn't even watch this.
Rather the kind of easy, undemanding job that actors take for a quick payday. The thing is though, you're not supposed to say that part out loud, but that's exactly what she did during the film's press
That
tour.
is true.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes? I needed a job.
So what? So why did you suck dick? I needed a job. Question: what qualifies as fat? If you're 5'5" and you're over 200 pounds and you don't have 200 and you don't look I would say 200 and like 225, 250 pounds, you're fat. And then get that like ratio, right? Because if you're 6 foot and you're 250, you could be fat or you could be muscular. Really depends.
I'm being so serious.
Let's go to Adam Rice.
It was like she had no filter, no idea of what's appropriate to say, no understanding that she was basically shitting on the film.
Kamala Harris, true.
Released. A film that was literally the second role of her entire career by that point. You're not quite so high that you can look down on movies like Shazam 2, Rachel. Anyway, the film would go on to flop at the box office, making 2 flops in a row for Rachel, but that's okay though, because she had her eyes on an even bigger prize by this point. In 2021, Zegler truly hit the big time when she was cast as the lead role in Disney's Snow White. The powers that be in Hollywood were clearly working to position her as the next big thing. Young, talented, diverse, and confident. A mini girl boss in the making, if you will. She was going to be the new Jennifer Lawrence.
You're over 6 foot and 145. You're considered skinny. You're considered pretty skinny.
The face of the next generation.
Like, I'm 6 foot and I'm about 180.
That would lead the industry for the next decades.
Dad bought energy. Hey, man.
Unfortunately, with all that fame and success came increased attention.
It's more about how you
were
feel.
actually listening to what she had to say now, and holy shit, did Zegler have a lot to say. Now, you've all seen her infamous red carpet interviews, so I'm not going to subject you to another tedious montage of it, but the point here is that her comments didn't go down quite the way she'd anticipated.
Yep. She nuked her career.
For most people, this was their first real introduction to Rachel Zegler, and it wasn't a good one. She came across as arrogant, entitled,
5'9",
and
170? I think that's
self-absorbed,
fine.
casually insulting and dismissing the original Snow White, and banging on and on about the new film being made for modern audiences.
You do bike rides? Okay, that makes sense then.
Fuck. Just
if you're like a
what nobody wanted
triathlon
to
or
see.
whatever.
Now, in her defense, I still believe that she was delivering talking points given to her by the studio, but there is a way to get those kind of points across without sounding like an obnoxious arsehole.
That's true.
And she didn't do it. This stuff all came at the
I
worst
farted and
possible
shitted,
time in Hollywood
and then
history
you lost
too,
10
when
pounds.
the whole remade for modern audiences bubble was about to burst. The result? A social media firestorm the likes of which has never been seen before or probably since. Even Brie Larson in her Captain Marvel heyday never came close to the level of backlash directed.
Yeah. The crazy thing is that like Brie Larson with Captain Marvel, she was pretty much hated for a little bit, and it's sort of like Rachel Zegler topped that. Right? Rachel Zegler came in and like, that's not how you go woke. Let me show you how it's done. Right? And then she went, like, she didn't even dial it back. Right? And she did the whole Palestine, a free Palestine thing while she's trying to promote the movie, which is also a very terrible plan. Like, you don't do that, right? And you got to know that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are Jewish people, and then the fact that you are promoting a movie and in the same post says "Forever Free Palestine," you're gonna freaking like disenfranchise like a lot of people who are Jewish. Or people who just don't want to be, people who just don't care about that kind of stuff. People are like, oh man, another political thing. It's like, why would you do that? Like, at least Brie Larson, like, she knew exactly when to just shut up, right? She didn't really say anything for Captain Marvel 2. Sorry, The Marvels. And she also has bigger boobs. So there's more, that we're more easy. We can more, forgive her more because of her bigger boobs. All right, just letting you know.
At Snow White, and more
people joining
specifically
the
at
stream
Rachel
and seeing
Zegler.
Eve
For a lot of people, she
Stellar
basically
Blade
became the
thumbnail and then sees Rachel
personification of
Zegler.
everything they
True.
disliked about modern Hollywood. A spoiled, entitled, and not particularly talented manufactured
Emily. Hope you're doing well.
elevated to a position she didn't deserve, and without the humility or self-awareness to even be grateful for it. Disney were forced to go into full-blown panic mode, delay.
And here's the thing. Dan Vasc, Dan Vasc, when we were on what's it called again? I think someone tagged us on I think it was a Tree Bear or someone else on YouTube tagged us with Ryan's face superimposed on top of Rachel Zegler's face here and singing the song. And the voice wasn't dubbed over by Ryan's voice, it's actually Rachel Zegler's voice. And Dan Vasc says, wow, this is overtune, like basically auto-tune slop. And when like Dan Vasc is a phenomenal singer. Like, he's an insane vocalist. And he basically said, this is garbage, like freaking like auto-tune slop.
In the movie by more than a year while they waited for the backlash to die down, and even putting Zegler on a humiliating, carefully stage-managed apology tour in the hopes of softening her public image. And to some extent,
Ryan and Brie are dating.
The marginal success of the new Hunger Games movie in
good for
2023
Ryan.
helped to maintain the illusion that she was still somewhat popular. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. The problems really began, well, anytime she opened her mouth and went off script, and they could only shut her
the
up
video's
for
Nightmare
so
Phil,
long.
it is.
When the first trailer for Snow White landed in August 2024,
Dan has a new song coming out this Friday.
Took to social media
I believe that's
to
what he
thank
said.
her fans for it, even though the trailer got ratioed into oblivion and became one of the most unpopular in YouTube
Dan's the
history.
Brazilian
But even
Freddie
then, she couldn't
Mercury.
resist dropping in a political
And
hot
yeah,
take,
he's
this time
gay,
weighing in on
according
the
to what I heard.
Israel-Palestine conflict.
See right over here. Like I'm gonna go back like 5 seconds right here. I love you all so much. Thank you for the love, for the 120 million views on our trailer in just 24 hours. What a whirlwind. And I'm in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet. So I'm going to get out of here. Bye for now. And always remember, free Palestine. You are trying to promote a Disney movie and you're talking about Palestine. And I believe after this, like she really like stopped talking. But most importantly, she basically said that I hope that all MAGA supporters and Donald Trump do not know peace, right? Basically like threatening the entire like tsunami, like red tsunami that voted for Trump, right? This is not a freaking like very close race. This was like a complete domination from the Republican side or the MAGA side that came out and voted for Trump. And you said, I hope they know no peace. Yeah. I would, if I was a mom, if I was a gay boy, I would be like, nope, I'm not bringing my daughter to go watch this piece of shit. Her, she, hers. They want to make sure. She wants to make sure that you know her pronouns, okay? Just letting you know. Just letting you know.
Dropping in a political hot take, this time weighing in on the Israel-Palestine conflict. Because truly, if there's anyone out there qualified to talk about complex geopolitical issues stretching back thousands of years, it's a spoiled 22-year-old theater brat that's never
she's
even
very
worked
young
a normal
too.
job in her entire life.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Once again, another firestorm erupted, and once again,
If
Disney
you
were
were
forced
a
to go
gay
into
boy?
damage
Yeah!
control mode.
If
This
I
time
were a
assigning
gay
her
boy.
social media manager, and even having producer
Yep.
Mark Platt fly half.
Yeah, basically, John Platt had a son or some shit like that. No, I think John Platt's a son. Mark Platt basically like, yo, you need to go to New York and calm this bitch down. And that did not work either.
Way across the country
That's so
to
bad.
personally reprimand her and ask her to take down the post. And she fucking refused.
Yep.
You know,
What
there's
a
such
dumb
a thing as
bitch.
overplaying your hand, but Zegler was trying to play before she'd even been dealt her cards. The fact
Yes,
is, you
if-
can only get away with being this much of a headache for the studio if you're a proven heavyweight
Can't be
at the
gay if
box
you're a
office
food
with
lover,
a track
chat.
record of making serious money for the studio, and Zegler had nothing but a handful of flops and one minor success to her name. But still, she didn't stop. From then on, there was just no shutting this girl up.
Yep.
She weighed in on everything from immigration to women's rights to the American election, and every time she opened her mouth, she drove more people away from the movie. She
Yep.
even managed to piss off her Snow White co-star, who funnily enough didn't share her opinion on the whole Israel-Palestine thing and the tension between them at the 2025
They didn't even look at each other here, which is crazy. They didn't even look at each other. But man, Gal Gadot is a freaking goddess. Look at her, man. Look at that. Look at that.
Oscars was so thick you could practically cut it with a butter knife. March of 2025 would prove
She's
to
your
be
age and
Judgment
she's a
Day for
6.4
Snow White
out
and
of 10
Zegler
because
in
you're feeling
particular.
generous.
And well, you don't need me to tell you how that one went down. In fact, it became one of the biggest bombs in Disney history.
Chat, if you guys didn't know, Snow White with Rachel Zegler has a lower score than Dragon Ball Evolution. And I fucking hate Dragon Ball Evolution. I hate Dragon Ball Evolution almost as much as I hate Snow White. And the reason why the Dragon Ball Evolution deserves more hate from me is because Dragon Ball, like, I fucking love Dragon Ball. It's the thing that I watched growing up. And it's wild that, like, Dragon Ball Evolution was just such a shit show and Snow White got worse. That's crazy.
Getting absolutely
Dragon Ball
savage reviews
Evolution
and losing the
W,
studio hundreds of
rare,
millions
rare,
of dollars.
once in a lifetime
Now there was
W.
just no hiding it anymore. Zegler had basically gambled her entire career on the success of this film, and she
Wasn't
lost
Gadot
big
in the
time.
IDF? Yes.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
So
Toriyama
what was
hated
the
it too.
fallout of all of
Absolutely.
this? Well, it seems like
Toriyama hated it so much he came out of retirement and made Revival of F. That's how bad that was. It was universally hated. The director did not read anything and did not know what Dragon Ball Z was. He had no idea. He had to apologize. Justin Chatwin, the guy who played Goku, had to apologize. And the crazy thing is the guy who played Spike, I forgot his name already. The guy who played Spike on what's it called again? On Buffy. I believe it's like I think it's Masters. His last name is Marsters. I think that's his last name. He voices several characters or a character in Dragon Ball, and he's like, man, like, because he actually like played Piccolo, and Piccolo was a literal alien. Like, he literally he wasn't even a slug monster or like a Namekian. He was literally a fucking alien. Yeah, James is it James Marsters? Yeah, James Masters. Okay, James Masters. Yeah, like he voices an actual character from Dragon Ball. This is so bad.
Zegler's career
James
might be
Marsden?
over before
That's
it even
different.
began. With an absolutely toxic public image, a reputation for causing problems
James
behind the
Marsden
scenes,
is
and
Cyclops.
no major successes to
To
prop
me,
her
my
up,
sex
she just
men.
doesn't have the political capital in Hollywood to absorb this kind of failure. No casting director in his right mind is going to put her in a high-profile movie at this point. She's got no major film or TV projects coming up, and seems to have retreated back into theatre roles with a West End production of Evita, which apparently isn't doing too well either. There just doesn't seem to be a way back for her. Or if there is, it's going to be a very long and hard roads. Rachel Zegler really was her own worst enemy in this case. She went from the darling of Hollywood, on the verge of being the next big leading lady, to an unemployable disaster, and ultimately a sad footnote in movie history. A flash in the pan who died out as quickly as she began because she just couldn't learn to shut the fuck up. She really did crash and burn.
Yeah, she literally did this to herself. Like, everything that happened to her, she did it to herself. Gal Gadot did not say anything. All she did was, this is different. Hope you guys like it. I'm not gonna say anything, right? She didn't even come out and bash anything on according to what I know, I don't think Gal Gadot has actually said anything bad about Iran. All she says that, you know, pray for Israel. Hopefully shit's happening in Israel right now. Like, that's how you do it, right? There is a conflict happening right now. And yes, you guys are polar opposite sides of the war and the conflict. The best thing to do is not say anything. And that's what should have happened. She's a representative of all the young generation. Exactly, man. It's awful. Let's go on, Isura. Hope you're doing well.
In the most spectacular manner. And in this case, she's got no one to blame but herself.
True.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Oh, man. Yep. That's crazy. No! Why is autoplay on? Why is it not turned off? Okay, there it is. That's a good video. Another banger from the drinker. And here's the thing. Someone reached out to the drinker and like, hey, you should talk to Phil about who's a better wife material, Tifa or Aerith. And then he's like, who? And then, man, in a world filled with several billion Chinese people, I feel even smaller than my 2 inches. That's a bad day. But what a good video. Go ahead and give it a like. Go and check it out. If you guys haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, subscribe to the Drinkers channel. Go and check it out.